Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. You?
Oh, not bad. Just trying to figure out the mixer because I was going to try and do it through the phone, but I went in my tickle trunk, so to speak, and went to try and find all the cables that I had. So I got a bunch of cables. Now it's just a random, how to kind of hook it up to see if it'll work.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a little late here. I just wanted to make sure I was. Well, I guess we could start with this. I guess. So.
What's that?
Well, did you pick a topic?
Did I pick one? No, not really. I was thinking of one on the way home, and I thought of it, but I didn't write it down.
Oh. I guess I could talk about, because we always talk about driving shit.
Yeah. Well, we could talk about your experience this morning.
Yeah, I think that might be an interesting one. So,
yeah, because I didn't get all the details. I just kind of got the gist of it. But yeah, if you could kind of shed some light on your morning commute to work.
Yeah. So this morning on the way to work, I left early because today was an interesting day. So today was the funeral for Corey's dad. And I was planning to go do that, so I decided I was going to go into work early, and took the perimeter to work, which is the road that runs around the fair city of Winnipeg. It basically it's a circumference. I think in French they call it the circumference road.
Yeah, the border.
Yeah, so basically I take that to work. It's faster, but it was pretty icy, and I got clipped this morning, where I get hit from behind. So there's this hill that you go up and then go down, and then at the bottom of the hill, the traffic was backed up almost to the bottom of the hill. So I had to stop fairly quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, I'm just closing my map thing is on.
Okay.
And it's talking in my ear and I can't hear you. Anyway, so I had to, I get over the top of the hill, you can't see the bottom. And then it's still going. What the hell? Okay, I'm good. Anyway, so I was going down the hill and I was like, holy shit, it's backed up. I'm going to have to stop real soon. So I hit the brakes. They had no effect. So then I'm like, okay, shifted into neutral, pump the brakes, because I got an older car, it doesn't auto pump. Just pump the brakes. Car started to go sideways a little bit. So I added a little bit of gas to kind of straighten myself out, kind of played between the brake and the gas.
Mm-hmm.
As I don't know, as you would. I think most people who know how to drive, that's you got to balance. Like if you just straight brake, you're going to go sideways. That's just the nature of velocity and trajectory and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
So I put on the brakes, straightened myself out. I put on the brakes, then I hit the gas to straighten myself out, and I was pumping the brakes. I was in neutral, and I was slowing down. I was not slowing down as fast as I would have liked, but I still had, like, I don't know, 100 feet in front of me. So I was going to stop in time. Got me sweating a little bit, but, I regained control of the car.
Mm-hmm. The
guy behind me, not so much. So he saw me, swerving a bit and straightening myself. So he started stopping and he hit his brakes. From his description, I don't know.
Right.
He hit his brakes and, he started sliding. So he was trying to, like, avoid hitting me because I was able to successfully slow down better than he was. So he was like trying to avoid hitting me. So he did hit me in the back bumper, which set me off a little bit, but I was able to correct again. And he, avoided hitting a pole and went into the ditch.
But he hit you though.
He hit me, yeah.
And then he ended up in the ditch.
Yeah, he ended up in the ditch. So there's another guy that stopped to check on both of us. And the funny thing was, the guy comes out, like really nice kid. He must have been like 25 or maybe even younger.
Right.
You know, he checked to make sure we were okay. So, you know, we checked on the guy that was in the ditch, you know, make sure, because, you know, like maybe he hit his head or something. But he didn't.
Right.
He was fine. And then...
didn't you have to open the door or something? Cause
yeah, well, he was... the driver's side was dipped.
Right.
So he couldn't open the driver's side door at all.
Right.
So he had to get to the passenger side. So he couldn't, because of the angle, he couldn't get out.
Right.
Like without assistance. And, you know, he had a little bit of a meat on his bones, so I mean he wasn't as, you know, flexible or agile to be able to get out. So I helped him get out. Anyway, so the guy that was helping us both make sure we were okay and stuff, he looks like Hayden from The Office, like from my office.
Oh, okay.
So he comes up, and I'm like, I was sure it was him, and I'm like, hey, thanks for stopping.
Hey.
It's funny.
It's like giving a high five and then, you know, going slicking your hair back.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, yeah.
It was kind of funny. But, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so you've driven both types of vehicles, the older vehicles that don't have ABS and the ones that do have ABS.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yep.
Okay, so would you say ABS is more of a foolproof type of thing, or do you prefer the pumping? Which one's your...
I don't know, man.
What's your take on that?
I think the ABS is good for a driver that is less experienced. They just hold the brakes down and, you know, it does all the work for you.
Right.
But if you've been, you know, raised to drive defensively, I think the ABS is detrimental. Because I don't know if this is true. I've never tried it, and I wouldn't dare. But if you pump your brakes on an ABS system, I think your leg... Can your brakes disengage?
Well, I mean, take your foot off the brake, you don't have brakes. But, I mean, when you put it on, it's just basically a pump, and it just you know, does its little thing, and it just barely... I guess it depends on how hard you hit the brakes, too. It'll depend on how hard this thing will kick in. Because I know I've hit, like, a patch of ice, and automatically the pump comes on, is type thing where it wants to, you know, but you're sliding through. It doesn't matter how much ABS you have.
Right. But
when it's that icy at an intersection, especially at a stop sign, you know.
So I think my preference is the non-ABS. What's your preference?
I would say with ABS.
There's
less. But then of course you have the front wheel drive versus rear wheel drive.
All those things have an impact on exactly how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I find it harder stop because I'm so used to the rear wheel drive vehicle, the older vehicles, that for some reason when you put the brakes on with a front wheel drive, it just screws everything up.
Yeah, you tend to go sideways.
And they say that you're supposed to give it gas so that the wheels kick in and go the direction. That's bullshit from what I've experienced. Because as soon as you turn the wheel at all, and if you give it any gas, it's going to spin. It's not going to.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to get going any faster or stop any faster.
Like
in my experience. This
morning, like when I was pumping the brakes, the reason I like the non-ABS, but I'm more comfortable with non-ABS because I've driven non-ABS far longer than, you know, I've driven ABS.
Yeah, but it's like auto.
What's that?
It's like autopilot in a plane. It's like, you know what? I feel more comfortable flying myself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Because, like, I found, like, so when I hit the brakes the first time, like, I just, you know, touched the brakes lightly because you don't want to just jam your brakes on, right? It's like, okay, no effect. So then, you know, I hit it the second time. I kind of hit it a little bit harder. I didn't want to, you know, I was still testing the road. I wasn't going to pump my brakes yet, and I still had a long time to stop. But then I hit it, and then I started to go sideways. Okay, well, that's not good. So I pumped the brakes a couple of times, went kind of bit sideways again, Then I let go of the brake, and then I hit the gas a bit just to kind of straighten myself out. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, if I'm explaining that properly.
I think when you're, like, what you're saying, like when you put the brakes on, your car starts to go sideways.
Yeah.
That is normally what happens with a vehicle with no ABS. You slam on, you lock everything up, you could be doing 360s in the road.
Yeah.
When it comes to the ABS, when you go to stop, I think it helps with the wheel just kind of...
With the wheel adjustment, right?
It kind of stops and lets the wheel go, and then stops and lets the wheel go at a whatever rate, to the point where your wheels are still kind of turning and still kind of gripped to the road, whereas when you've got them locked up tight, like, you're at the mercy of, gravity or was it velocity or
yeah.
Like your car wants to go, your tires are saying no, but your car's going, screw you, I'm going.
yeah.
That type of thing. And if there's nothing holding it back, then way you go. But with the ABS, it seems to, it gives a little bit of grip on the ground, so you don't start doing pirouettes.
Yeah. So like what I liked about pumping the brakes this morning was, okay, so I pumped the brake. Now I've reduced my velocity starting to, cut in half or whatever the ratio is. I don't know the math or the physics, but I do understand physics. So it's like, okay, so now my speed has decreased. I'm still going fairly quickly, but my speed has decreased. So my momentum is less, and I'm going to, start slowing down, not fast enough, but I'm going to start slowing down. So that's when I did the adjustment, but I could gauge how I pumped it. Like, are you pumping on bang, 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 bang? Or are you spacing your pumps? And I spaced my pumps. I was like, okay, I hit it once. It kind of slowed me down, but not really. So then, the velocity of how I do the pumps is based on what the car is actually doing.
Yeah.
And so it's funny. Like, even though the car started to lose control, I was in full control because I knew, okay, this did this. Okay, that didn't do what I wanted to do yet, because I'm still got too much momentum. So I felt more in control of what was happening, and I felt I was more capable of preventing the accident from happening. Like, I was more capable.
Yeah, it's like standard steering versus power steering. You can feel the road when it comes to standard steering.
Oh, for sure. And I do like standard way better.
Yeah, and I don't know if anyone out there has ever experienced standard steering. Like, it's not, if you're older, maybe you've driven a vehicle that was standard steering, and it's strong arm steering, they call it.
Yeah, but I do like
both your hands.
I do like the standard because, like, if you need the more oomph, it's all in how you shift. Oh,
and in your standard gearing, same idea. You can really feel the road. It's not automatically. It's sometimes it's so smooth you can't even really tell what's going on.
Yeah,
so you can only go by what you hear with the RPMs of the engine and whatnot. And now with these special, because I know my daughter's Nissan, it has such a glide to it. It doesn't even shift.
Yeah,
like it doesn't go.
Well, I drove the same. My old car was the same car as hers, but she had the sedan versus the hatchback. And I know, I totally know what you're saying. Like, the Nissan was too smooth, and it was kind of nice because it was smooth, but at the same time, I don't know what's going on.
If you're on somewhere ice, like regular fair weather's fine, but if you're on ice or something and it's being that smooth, smooth is nice so that it doesn't jar the wheels, loose. And I'm sure that's probably a great benefit of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So after that accident, I should tell you the whole train of events.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
No, because it was. I'd never been part of anything like that before. So I've had.
Oh, you never been into an accident?
No. I haven't had a lot of accidents. I think this is like the fourth one.
Okay.
Total. Well, actually, no, fifth one if you count the time I was in the car with you when you had that accident on St. James Street. Or was it St. James or Keewatin or something? Remember there's some old guy cut in front, and then I think you had your Trans Am. I think.
Well, and we got into an accident?
Yeah, you got into an accident. I was in the passenger seat.
And it was with the Firebird? I don't remember that.
I don't know if it was the Firebird. Maybe I can't remember what you're driving now. But I remember you got in an accident. All you did, you kind of hit the back end of the guy. Like your front bumper hit. I think like your right bumper hit his back bumper, like the left side of the back bumper. The guy came out of the parking lot of Polo Park. Came right out, didn't look, didn't shoulder check, didn't do nothing. He just came out, some old guy. And then you hit him. A guy hit you from behind. And I think there was another car that hit that guy that was behind you as well.
Are you sure that was me? I don't remember any of this at all.
And then, so then we had stopped. And then the old guy who started the whole accident, like he pulled over, everybody pulled over. Right. And the old guy, like everybody stopped and everyone's, starting to exchange numbers or something. And then the old guy was at the front of the whole thing, said, it's okay, I'm fine. But he never got hit. He's the guy that never got hit. The guy that caused all the accidents.
Oh, yes. Do you remember that? Yes.
And then he fucking took off. Pardon my language. The old guy took off. Like the guy who caused the whole chain accident. I mean, it wasn't a big hit, but he cut off the guy, in front of you? Or maybe it was the guy in front of you and you hit the guy behind him or something.
It was a multiple thing, like when I got hit on this. I got hit by the side. Okay, I put my brakes on. My whole front end swung over, and then hit the car in the other lane.
Yes, yeah, okay, yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah, and then we were all going to pull into the Polo Park parking lot, and then we all kind of like, well, what's his nuts go? It's like the one who caused the whole friggin' thing. So we ended up getting nailed for the whole. Yeah, you all got nailed. Shebang. Yeah. I had that same, like my first accident. I hit a curb, and it was the same. It was like deja vu. It was the same thing. It was with my Saturn. I was driving a Saturn at the time, and the guy cut out, didn't look, shoulder checked. He just came out of the parking lot, didn't look. I swerved to miss him. I swerved to miss him. I was in the right lane, and I went into the middle lane. I wasn't able to stop right away because there was cars there, so then I went into the far left lane, which is a turning lane, when I couldn't correct it enough. So I actually just hit the curb, and it was enough to knock the front alignment out. Oh. The guy never saw anything. He just kept driving. So you're better off to hit him almost because it's like, you didn't hit me. I'm good. I'm see ya. I caused it, but Well, when I went and did a police report. Right. You're supposed to if it's over $1,000. So I went and did the police report. I went to the police station. I told what happened. Yeah. Because I'm like, this guy, it's not a hit and run, but whatever you call it. He left the scene of an accident. And he said, did you get the license plate number? I said, no, I did not, because I was actually trying to gain control of my car. Exactly. But, like, I'm not at fault here. He goes, well, you're 100% at fault. I'm like, how am I 100% at fault? Well, you didn't get the guy's driver's license. If I'd have hit the guy, I wouldn't have hit him in the rear. I would have hit him kind of like the back corner. So I would have hit the driver's side on the back panel, but on the side. Yeah. So if I would have hit him, that's where I would have hit him. But I decided to be defensive in the driving and minimize the accident. Right. And they said you're at fault. I said, well, no, I'm not at fault. Actually, I prevented an accident. He goes, look, I'm going to be honest with you. You would have been better off hitting the guy. I said, but what if I hit the guy and he's an old person, he has a heart attack and he dies? Like, is that the right call? Like, I don't think that's the right call, sir. Like, no offense, but that's not the right call. Like, I might have, prevented somebody from dying or suffering, a bad injury. Yeah, unless you have witnesses or anything, then it's all hearsay. I try to get witnesses. So actually, that out of the accidents I had, that's the only one where I was at fault. Right. And then it's like I was at fault. It's like, it took a while to get it back, and my wife mocked me for a long time. I've never been at fault. But anyway, so the accident today. So he hit me and he went in the ditch. Right.
And then sometime after, I don't know exactly what happened, but another car had the same issue stopping.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow I think they did a 360. I didn't see it happen, but this car didn't hit anyone, but there was front damage done to the car. So it must have had to have hit the Meridian somehow, but from the impact, they would have had to spin around to do it. So they did a 360, I guess. And that knocked another guy in the ditch because he tried to avoid hitting her as she was spinning. And then after that, like about a few minutes after that, maybe 5 minutes, or maybe less, there was like I don't know if it was like a 6 or 7 car pileup behind us.
Right.
But it was kind of more towards at the top of the hill, or at the top of the bottom of the hill. But yeah, it was like bad.
Wow.
It was like really bad. And there was people injured in that part. Because the fire truck showed up, and I talked to those guys. The RCMP showed up. I talked to them. The RCMP was actually, I gave kudos to the RCMP. They were actually really cool. The guy came, talked to me. You know, like he said I could have left, but I'm like, well, I'm not going to leave not till you guys show up. You know, I think it's proper to give a statement. I don't want to just leave. I know I'll be late for work, but he says, well, no, that's good, but you know.
Yeah, well, especially when there's that many vehicles involved, they probably want to get the whole picture.
But I also wanted to make sure everyone was okay. Like the one lady, she was like the one who spun. She was beside herself. Felt bad. She was like weeping. Well, I guess she scared the shit out of herself. But so, anyways, so that was my morning.
Wow.
And then
don't look, Ethel. It's too late.
Yeah, yeah. So then after that, it's like late for work by a couple hours as a consequence, and then we had to leave for the funeral today. So my kudos to my work for being understanding.
Yeah, no kidding. That's a lot of. That was a pretty busy morning.
Yep, and it was a busy day too. It was we broke a record for sure. We might have broken multiple records on how much work came through today, but I don't talk about work on the podcast. Not really.
Yeah. That's
as much as I'll give. But yeah, so it was a pretty colorful, entertaining morning. So now I'm taking the long way home, driving through the city. Everything's sanded here. Everything's totally sanded on Bishop Grandin.
I'm sure the perimeter is probably sanded by now.
You think so?
Especially in the first thing in the morning, yeah, they wouldn't, because the snow was still,
still relatively
just falling, I think.
Did it just snow this morning?
I don't know. It was kind of like when I came out, there was, a couple inches of snow on the ground that was fresh, so it was just kind of powdery.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that fell, throughout the night, I guess. We're supposed to get more snow coming, so.
Taking off my sunglasses now. I'm at that apex of the sun.
Oh.
I can't see, it's too dark, but then I can't see because the light's just cresting the ridgeline. So, yeah. So anyway, we did the funeral after.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually a good funeral. Or no, not a funeral. What do they call it? Felt more like a wake than anything.
It's a celebration of life, I believe.
Celebration of life, that's what they called it. It was good.
Yeah.
Corey spoke very well. His wife spoke very well.
Mm-hmm.
Their daughter spoke very well. She actually recited a poem. It was good.
Yeah, it was very good. Very good.
Corey's dad was pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Like I mean I didn't know him that well. I think I know his mom better than his dad, but like I didn't realize all the stuff his dad had done. Like his dad, pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, he's quite the curler.
Yeah, he was Brier champion, 1984, I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. And show that video of the actual the end of the match where he gets that point,
yes.
Oh my god, I don't know. I got goosebumps. That was cool to watch. Like that was yeah. I restrained myself. And I wanted to stand up and go yeah. Because it was cool, man.
He's like, oh, I don't think it's appropriate.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, it was cool, man. he knocked the final rock in that gave them the victory, but I think they were behind like 3 points, or I don't know how curling worked exactly, but they were behind, I think is how they said it was, and the last rock that he threw was the one that gave him the championship.
Right.
Like, that's pretty freaking cool, and they weren't the favorites to win. So I don't know. That was awesome. Makes me want to watch curling.
Yeah. Have you ever curled?
Nope. Have you?
No, I've been asked to be on the team. But it was like, you know what? I kind of like my downtime. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to go out in the cold in a rink. I'm not big beer drinker because I know a lot of.
Well, you have to drink beer to play curling, like I think.
Yeah, I think that's a prerequisite. I think.
Yeah. I see an ambulance here. Coming up. Where are they going? I think they're going. Yeah, they're going the same way I'm going. Or are they going straight through? Oh no! Please don't go that way.
I can't even skate.
Yeah,
I've never been a skater. We had that pond behind the house when growing up.
But did you? And you had skates, right?
Well, I had these Howie Meeker hockey school skates that were made
Howie
of
Meeker?
leather. Howie Meeker. Sit right on the side. They had the emblem and everything.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, and they were about a size too small, so my big toe on my left foot always rubbed.
Oh, geez.
Always too tight. I couldn't skate probably because of that. I just
maybe.
But I'd go in the back of the pond in the backyard, and we had because we lived in the country, we had a septic tank, of course, and the septic field was further down, just before the creek, or what do they call it? Was it a creek?
I guess. Yeah, I guess creek.
Yeah. Like in the summer, you see tadpoles kind of go around type thing. So that was the field where the cows were, and then we had when it froze over, it would overflow. So then I'd go out there with the skates.
That so we were skating on piss and stuff?
Well,
because it always had a yellowish color. I remember that now.
When you looked at the ice, it sometimes would have like I don't want to say yellowish brownish, but it would have I don't know. It just I don't think it was pure, but I'd use a hockey stick that was broken. So we went to, oh my God, was it Home Hardware?
Oh no, wait, was it Home Hardware we had?
Was it?
I think it was Home Hardware.
Was it Continental?
We didn't have Menards or Rona.
No.
I think it was Home Hardware. Might have been Home Hardware, or it became Home Hardware later. I can't quite remember.
Home Hardware. It was one of those places anyway. So I picked up it was a replacement blade. So basically, it was a sleeve that sleeved over the hockey stick, and then it had two screws that went in, and you could use that as a hockey stick, right? Of course, this thing weighed way more than the regular hockey stick because this extra piece was pretty heavy. So anyway, that's what I had for a hockey stick. And of course, I didn't have a hockey puck. So basically, when you're out in the field, you either had it was either cow shit or a horse shit.
Yeah.
So the horse had. If you did an OK sign with your hand, I mean, that's how big they were. They weren't, and they came out. If you've ever seen, I mean, this is kind of gross, but anyways, a horse is way different than a cow when it comes to its excrement.
Yep.
A cow, you've heard the term cow patty. Well, that's what it is. It's just basically, just take a full bowl of oatmeal. Just drop it on the ground. That's pretty much it. That's what it kind of looks like. Horse is more of a stack of buttons coming out.
Yeah, that's true.
They kind of look like vertebrae. But anyway, you use
I'm just thinking show notes right now. Horse shit versus cow shit. That's awesome.
So we use the horse one as the hockey pucks. I mean, you're skating around and you go, oh, okay, I'll go over there and grab, because they're frozen, right? Yeah. You don't want to be doing when they're thawed out by any means. But that was kind of the pastime. If you went out skating in the pond, you went out by the, by the creek that had the weird, lines in it, and then you had to find something as a hockey puck. So that was kind of the winter thing. In the summertime, you'd fly kites out there. And actually, cousin Mike had a boomerang.
Okay.
It was a red plastic boomerang.
Oh, yeah.
And we didn't know if it, and we didn't know if it worked. So we needed a big field to try it out on. So that's what we did. We were out in the field, out in the cow pasture, in our rubber boots, and then we'd throw this thing, and of course it would do like an arc, and then it would, kind of come back. And if you threw it, underhanded, vertically or horizontally, it would go up. It would, and then come down. But it's not something you'd want to catch.
No, not really.
And multiple times we've had it, go into a cow patty.
Yep.
Where the outside of the cow patty is nice and crusty.
Yep.
But the interior is still kind of soft.
And steamy.
And steamy.
Depending how fresh it was.
I guess it must be from eating all the grass, but yeah.
Oh my God.
We're talking about, yeah. Anyway, but hey, when you live on a farm,
juggernaut episode today.
But when you live on a farm and you have all these the animals, and we actually had that piece. We may have talked about this before. Right outside the back door of the barn, you take the wheelbarrow and then you go out, and then that's where you dump it all, right?
Yep.
And you'd have neighbors coming over with tractors, just loading her up like for their fertilizer for their gardens. It was not as was it no scented.
Wait a minute. So people were taking our manure?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You remember the guy up the street that had
was Dad selling it?
I don't think he was selling it. I think they just came and grabbed it. I think. I don't know. I wasn't involved with any financial part of it. I was still pretty young. All I remember is the guy from up the street. I'm trying to remember. Was it Doris? Her dad? I'm trying to remember now. That was a long time ago. So he'd come down. It was a little thing run off of a tiller motor, okay? And he had it in the front. And this thing, he'd have it was like a throttle, and then it would just go putt, and then he'd be hauling this trailer. So then he'd show up, and then he'd load, the manure, and then he'd putt all the way back up the street.
Was that someone on our road?
Yeah.
Who was it?
Okay, well, you remember Andre?
Andre, yeah.
Andre?
Yeah.
Up the street?
Yeah, Andre.
Okay, well, so his neighbors, Doris was more my age, and then I can't remember her sister's name, Jacqueline, or...
oh, that sounds right.
It evades me now. But, at one point, actually, I think their house burnt down. Yeah. And then you remember the pit?
Oh, yeah.
We used to go to?
Oh, yeah. Not to be confused with La Pit à Pot, which we talked about on a previous episode somewhere, but different pit.
Pit à Pot. Oh, really? Pit
à
Pot. Yeah, no.
That we'll talk about that in another episode.
Yeah.
It was a good story.
This was where, you'd see the RCMP go down there, and this is where they would go target shooting, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not just them. There would be other people who go there, and you could find empty shells, everywhere. So I'd go into where they were firing and start digging out these chunks of lead and, the bullets type thing, which was pretty cool. But anyways, in this place, it was like, Kilby,
yep.
That was his name. It was down that road. So you went down that road and into the pit, and they had sometimes they had old cars and stuff. I don't know if it was a dump or it was just his property.
Yeah, that's a good question.
But I remember when that house
find
stuff
there all the time. There's always weird things you could find just digging in the dirt.
Well, that was the thing. When the house burnt down, I think that's where they put it all.
Oh.
Because it had that burnt smell.
Yeah.
Like anything, and like you said, if you dug through, you could find. I found a measuring tape, and this would have been like a seamstress type measuring tape.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a beige round piece with a red button in the middle, and then you pull it out and you hit the red button, it would go back in. I was like, oh, I could use a measuring tape, but it stunk so bad.
Yeah.
of smoke. But anyways, we kind of got off on it. I don't know how we ended up.
It's interesting history stuff. I like how but the pit, though, that was a place where pretty much forbidden to go there, but I don't know if we were always forbidden to go there.
Well,
I know you got in trouble for going before.
Yeah, I mean, I had gone with a friend of mine, Zap, Shaw, but we
on motorbikes, right?
Well, we went on no motorbikes, but we had brought our pellet guns, and I had a BB gun, and he had, I don't know if it was a pellet or BB, I can't remember now, but we were goofing around, and I think I accidentally shot him in the leg. I can't remember if it was accident. I believe so. And it left a bit of a welt. And I remember oiling this thing, but the thing is, you put too much. And what I had done is I put that red chainsaw oil.
Yeah.
Or it was transmission fluid, one or the other. And I put in. So now when you went to fire it, it would go. So it was basically just slowing it down, so it wasn't like boom type thing, and then fire the BB out. It was like. So I had to kind of clean it out a bit. And I don't know if it ever worked right after that, because I think the seal probably swelled up. And but the pit was they had fiddleheads there.
Oh, that's right.
We used to go pick fiddleheads in the pit. And my BMX one time I was out there, and I wasn't supposed to be. That was one of the times I wasn't supposed to be in the winter, and I went through the ice. And
I remember
BMX,
that.
Yeah, I just kind of scattered out of there. So of course, I didn't know how deep it was, and my foot got wet. Then I had to get Dad, and Dad had to come and do his lasso thing with his rope to get the bike out. Yeah, the pit. That was the place to go. Yeah, motorcycles and stuff. That's where we'd go all the time, the trails and whatnot.
Yeah, there's always people just gunning through there on their motorbikes. And it was like not an off-road, but I don't know, it was like going to see BMX Motorsports, like doing all these tricks and stuff.
Yeah. Well, our road was actually, people would tear down the road with motorcycles or whatnot because they were going out to, was it Howdy Job or whatever? They were going down to get the bootlegger.
Yep. I would translate that in English.
Howdy Job. I don't know. I don't know what the translation that would be.
Well, our street name was called Ohio.
Ohio Road.
Which wasn't actually the name of our street, but it became the name of our street.
Right.
Ohio is short for Ohio, and the job is of the devil. Le Diable is a job.
Yeah.
So, but he was the Hellraiser.
The Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Kane, I don't know if you were there or you remember this, but one time there was Kane and Cutie. Do you remember Cutie?
Cutie, yeah.
His friend?
Yeah.
Okay, so was it Roger?
Might have been Roger. Yeah.
Okay, so one time, Mère was babysitting in Mergoul. So she was at the house, I believe. I think it was her. And Kane and a bunch of friends, I don't know if they were going to see the bootlegger or not, but I believe they were coming down the street. I think the cops were around, so what they did is they pulled into either the field at home, and then I guess he had come up to the window. So the window right by the stairs coming into the porch. Yep. Like right there, the window was open, like, because it was summertime. We didn't have air conditioning, right? So he came up to the window and he was talking to us, saying that, the cops were, going up and down where the bootlegger was, and they were just kind of hiding out for now, because I guess they were looking at them, trying to find them or something. I don't know the whole story. And I was young, because I don't remember the whole gist of it, but all I remember is then after that, I think then they took off. And they went down there. But talk to him. Never talked to him again. I'll have to ask him what the whole story was if he remembers. That was eons ago. Yeah,
he's got some good stories.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
Oh my God,
probably some that we shouldn't broadcast.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah,
but yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Good old times. Back home. Would you ever go back home? Would you ever live back east in New Brunswick?
Sylvia and I talked about it,
Mm-hmm.
and we said probably, but not to be out there to work or anything. It would never be out there to work. It'd be like a place to just go cottage, you know?
Right.
Just kind of relax.
I'm thinking more like retirement.
Yeah, retirement.
Because a lot of our family...
But I don't know if I'd want to be there all year round, though. Like, I don't think it's a place I'd want to be all year round.
No.
Not quite all year round. You know, you go for a while, have some fun, and, you know, and then, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Well, the amenities are... Well, I mean, back in the day when we left, and coming to the concrete jungle here,
Yeah.
I mean, night and day difference.
Oh, yeah.
But as time goes on and you see videos and pictures of people from back home, and then even when I went to visit the last time, just the amount that has grown and being a tourist place, and now a lot of people wanting to live out there, I'm sure real estate prices have gone up and whatnot since we left. I wonder if I wonder what it would be like to live there.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot different the last time I went. It's like, what the hell happened?
Yeah. Like, I'd love to have just have a house with just enough, property, like where we used to live.
Yeah.
Where you'd have the fields. If you wanted to have, if you had your toys, if you had your quads or your bikes or your snowmobiles or, any of those type of toys, it'd be the perfect place to have it. I'd love to do that here, but as you get older, it's like, you know what? That's a lot of upkeep when you're in a place where your driveway is 50 feet long, and you got a yard that's fairly huge where you have to cut it and it's maintained. I'm so used to living in a house now where you don't have to do all that yard work that I'm getting kind of spoiled.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Or old. You're home?
Yeah, no one's greeting me. I feel... Oh,
there you go. Oh, there you go.
There you go. All right. Well, this was actually a fun episode. I'm glad we did it. Thanks for coming with me today. Special shout out to Corey's family, and hopefully everyone's doing okay.
Yes.
Eleanor drank your water. Oh my God. And she spilled it? Okay. And? She spilled your popcorn? Okay. Well, we're going to have to go clean that up. That isn't very nice.
I want to eat it all.
She ate it all. Oh. Well, I can go get more popcorn.
Luna ate it all?
Okay, Todd. We'll sign off here.
All right, then.
Okay.
We shall talk to you later.
Yep. See you later.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.